Hey guys, James here from Faculty Studios. I really kind of got caught out the other day. We went to do a wedding fair at a local wedding venue and they kind of sprung it on us that they wanted a little shoot doing. Now, all I had on me was a mobile phone, which I did not use because I have an iPhone 6 Plus, which, yeah, not brilliant. And I had my Osmo Pocket, which I always have in my coat pocket. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Osmo Pocket, this is one. It is a ridiculously small, lightweight 4K photo and stills camera with a fixed wide-angle lens and a mechanical gimbal. It has a tiny little screen on the back here, and it has two buttons on it, one for the menu, one for record and stop, and it's touchscreen as well. Now, this is not what I would normally choose to take on a commercial video shoot. I would normally have a couple of big bags of gear, at least two Sony a7 IIIs, my gimbal, tripod, lighting, variable NDs, audio equipment. I would usually spend probably an hour planning, scoping out angles, seeing what I could do, opening all the doors and windows, working stuff out, seeing where the reflections are, seeing where the light's gonna fall, seeing if I can wait until later to do it at golden hour. So the commercial shoot was for a new lodge, which is like the bridal suite. And it's like a timber cabin they've built in the woods, and it's absolutely beautiful, like this red cedar cabin. It's got like jacuzzi bath, it's got like really plush bedroom, it's got bifolding doors and a patio with like a seating area. Oh, it's fantastic, honestly. And if they'd have told me they wanted a shoot doing of it, I would have brought kind of all the aforementioned gear. We would have spent some time in there, we would have made it look really, really nice, get all the lights on in there, get it nice and warm, wait for the daylight to drop outside, do some outside to inside transitions, like during the 10 minutes it's gonna look absolutely perfect. But no, we set up our kind of wedding fair stand, and the owner of the venue said, oh, well, I'd quite like an Instagram teaser trailer for the new thing, so I can put it on tomorrow. Luckily, I have this in my pocket most of the time now, basically because of this. Now, a little bit of backstory. 10 or so years ago, when I was first kind of seriously getting into photography, I was a big fan of Jarvis, and it always stuck with me, that book that he wrote, The Best Camera is the One You Have With You. He did that on like an iPhone 3GS, I think, and it just kind of blew my mind that, you know, a professional photographer who used to take all these kind of massive power packs and generator heads and all this ridiculous flash stuff and like top level professional Nikon cameras would say, you know what? If I've got it in my hand, then that's the best camera. You know, it doesn't matter if I've got 20 grand's worth of gear over there somewhere where I can't get to it. If I see something interesting now and I've got a camera in my hand, this is the best thing I can possibly capture it on right now. This is the best camera. So I've always had that in the back of my mind, but I've always been a little bit paranoid about gear choice. I've never been one to go out with one camera, one lens, and just rely on that, because I'm always thinking, what if, what if, what if? What if there's something that I can't capture with that, and it's really cool, and I've been walking around with this camera for 4 hours, and I've not been able to capture the one interesting thing that I see, because I've not got the right lens, I've not made the right equipment selection. So to only have the wide angle, and I mean, it's between 24 and 28 mil on the Osmo Pocket. That's wide for me. The widest I ever shoot really is 35. So to have this kind of wider than I'm comfortable shooting to start with is quite a challenge. Like I said, I'd normally have hours and hours to kind of plan a shoot, make it look absolutely perfect, to have some actual professional gear with me, but I basically ended up having 10 minutes to plan and shoot, and only an Osmo Pocket. I didn't even have any ND filters with me. All I had was this, a full battery and a memory card, and that was it. So Katie and I quickly kind of went and unlocked all the bifolding doors. We made a bit of a route so we could go round it and see where we could come out and where we could go in, where we could emerge from, where we could transition to, what the interesting things were. So Katie quickly filled up the bath and put the jacuzzi bubbles on. We switched on as many lamps as we could, and we did it. We did the shoot. as the first guests they were showing round were knocking on the door to come in, we finished the final shot. Now, is the film we produced perfect? Absolutely not. I messed up the white balance a little bit outside on the first walk-in shot. You'll probably be able to see it. It's very, very green. And I usually very carefully white balance on the A7 using a white card if I'm in somewhere really green, because it becomes very difficult to correct afterwards. Because the lens is so wide, it kind of lends itself to doing these hyperlapse kind of moving shots, getting a load of motion in there. And that also helps to kind of mask the stuff at the edges of the frame, because when you're seeing stuff on this tiny, tiny screen here and trying to frame up using that, it's quite a challenge. Now, I know you can attach the Osmo Pocket to your phone like as a bigger viewfinder, but in kind of the moment of having to just get on with it and do some complicated movement stuff, I completely forgot about that. It was just kind of a rushed in the moment thing where I just decided that using that was the absolute best way, and I completely forgot you could use your phone as a bigger viewfinder to actually see what you're doing, which will be a significant advantage, and it's easier to change the controls on there as well. Taking into consideration it's probably the 4th time I've ever used the Osmo Pocket, I thought it was pretty good, you know. The gimbal is super stable. I wish you could kind of zoom in slightly, even digitally, like crop to 2.7K, so you could just have kind of maybe a 45mm field of view. That would really help. But anyway, I'll show you the film. Let me know what you think in the comments. For 10 minutes, no planning, and only an Osmo Pocket, I think we did an alright job, but it certainly opened my eyes to the possibility of ditching all the gear, you know? I get so bogged down in the big backpack full of gear and what should I use, and I can't not take this in case there's an opportunity to use it. I think there's something very much to be said for just taking one camera, one lens, and seeing what you can produce with it. And I think that's going to be my ethos for the rest of the year. Absolute simplicity. Go out with the absolute bare minimum of equipment. Don't bog yourself down creatively, mentally, and physically, and just have fun with it. Because this was a great project to work on. I really enjoyed it. The venue absolutely loved it, and yeah, we have great fun doing these things. I'll play the film, but let me know what you think in the comments below, what you would do differently, what one camera and one lens do you always have to hand that you know you can produce a shoot with. So if you like this video, I really appreciate it if you like it. If you subscribe to the channel, we've got more unboxings, we've got reviews, we've got long-term reviews, and we've got more little bits and pieces of real practical exercises like this. And I might actually do more of this, challenge myself to one camera, one lens, and see what we can go out with different focal lengths, different situations, and see where we end up. Okay, I'll see you next time. Enjoy the film.